share with you very briefly the trading setup that I have developed over the last 2 years. And I use thinkorswim platform, trading platform, which is through TD Ameritrade. You can set up a paper money simulated trading account and practice trading, which is what you see me doing on all my videos. And you don't have to have any money funding your account in order to do that. You can set it up at any time, and there are no requirements or stipulations on doing that. So it's a great way to begin and a great way to practice. However, thinkorswim is a huge, complicated program, and it is, I think, one of the most widely used trading platforms. It's very powerful, and there's like way too much information on there, so it's easy to get lost. So that's why I would like to share this with you, because I think it would have been a great help to me to just kind of narrow it down. Whatever you do, it's really important that you completely understand what it is that you're doing, because you can quickly get out of hand. Okay, so once you've gotten your account set up and you see a screen like this, you've got your thinkorswim platform on your computer, which is my preference. You can also do it on your phone, but there's a lot more buttons available on the computer chart that are really, really helpful. So you'll see a list of tabs up here. We want to be clicking on the Charts tab, and then we want to choose the thing that we are trading, the ticker symbol. So you can go to Futures here, which is what I trade, and these are all the futures contracts that are available through thinkorswim. The one that I have found to be the best one to trade is this one right here, which is the forward slash, which is the futures designator, ES. I think it's probably the most popular and widely traded futures market in the world. You have to have a minimum initial margin in your account of this much, and this is the paper trading amount. It is actually different on the actual account, the live account. I think it's up to 14,500 at the moment, but it just varies on whatever the number is that it's trading at the moment. So a futures contract is not that complicated, but it is a little bit different than a normal stock. So according to Google, futures are a type of derivative contract agreement to buy or sell a specific commodity asset or security at a set future date for a set price. So the one that I am trading here is it's a derivative of the S&P 500 index. And the tick size, it's divided up into quarters. It's 0.25. 4 of them make 1 point. The dollar is not really dollars over here that you see with the numbers that are relating to the candle formation here. They're not actually dollar amounts, there's a number, and from 54 to 55 is 1 point. And if you zoom out, you can see it breaks down into quarters, but no smaller. And each of those quarters is worth, oops, there we go, see that? So from 53 to 54 is worth 4 ticks, so that's $12.50 times 4, which is $50. So you can kind of see how leveraged futures are, which is why it is a great thing to scalp, because like from here up to here, that is, what is it, 53 up to 58. That's 5 points, so 5 times 50, that's $250 just in this little movement right here. So each time you trade the futures, it will cost a commission, a little bit more expensive than the normal stock that you would buy and sell. Now, just to simplify things, I think of a trade as going in and getting back out, both of those. That is not quite how thinkorswim tallies it Going in is one part and going out is another. So I just combine those two and add up my commissions, and it is equal to about $7.10 right now. And I think it does change, not super frequently, but it will change over time. And I think it's also related to the initial margin that is required as well. So to get in and out, each time will cost you $7.10, but you can see that you can make a lot of money as well. It's just something to keep in mind. Now, the other thing that is part of the ES here is this M23, and that is the expiration date, because these contracts do not last forever, which is another difference between this and regular stocks. And the contracts last, I believe, 3 months, and each of the months has a different letter designator. M here stands for June. So this one will expire in June of 23, and it will pretty much automatically route you into the correct contract time frame. Each day you don't really need to worry about that too much. So if you click on futures and then ES, it will automatically put it in the correct, see here we go, June 23rd. It will automatically let you trade in the correct contract period. So that's not really anything to worry about. Okay, so the next thing for the scalping that I do, it's really important, is the active trader ladder. And you can find that on the right-hand sidebar. Click on that and it will bring out this active trader. I usually have it take up about 1/3 of my screen. A little bit less. All right, and let's talk about what we see here. Now, this may be the default, I can't remember, but this little drop-down bar here has a bunch of information on it. This is how many contracts you're buying and selling. And I leave it on 1 because that is all I need to trade in order to make what my goal is for the day. Each contract would require this amount. So depending on how much you want to invest, that is where you would choose. All right, the other thing that you need to check is auto send. You want to make sure that your orders are going to go in immediately when you place them, and you don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of verifying and checking and rechecking, because you just don't have time for that. You want to make sure it's instant. You put it in and it goes in. All right, then the other thing you want to do is to protect yourself and to make sure that you have the correct risk to reward ratio and an automatic stop order, which will protect you from losing too much money in one trade, is you want to set up a template like this. I've got mine all set up already, but I will walk you through how to set it up. You pick trigger with bracket. Now the trigger with a bracket, the trigger is the initial order. So if I put it here, okay, so here's the actual price where it is currently right now. So if I put in an order down here, it's going to automatically set it to be a limit order. Now limit order is simply an order that will be filled at this price or better. If it drops below it and it doesn't like catch right away, sometimes that happens if it's moving too fast, then you'll actually get it at a better price. You'd actually buy in at a better price. Now the triggers that are activated when you place the order are the protection, the stop, that prevent you from losing too much. It will stop you out. It will sell if it drops to that point, or if it goes up, it will sell, hopefully, and make you a little bit of money. And that's also a limit order. So again, it will be at this price or better. The stop will automatically turn into a market order, which sells as quickly as possible, but you don't always exactly know when it's going to sell. If it's moving at a regular speed, you're pretty much going to sell right at that point. That's not really anything you need to worry about too much. Now the active trader ladder will automatically change from limit to a stop, depending on which side. You can see that, the limit down here and stop up here, depending on which side of the price you are, which is kind of a safety measure there, which I really appreciate. Alrighty, so the risk to reward ratio that you want is a 1-to-2 ratio, and I like mine set at 8 +8 on the limit side, and a negative, it will drop 4 on the stop side. All right. And the other thing you want to make sure is that it says good till canceled. The other option is day. It's not a huge big deal, but if you leave it as a day order and you leave it in overnight, it will automatically cancel your orders at the end of the day. Now, once you've got it set up like this, you want to save it right here. And I've already done this, so you can just do it yourself. I don't have to walk you through it. Just write in the name of the template that you would like to keep and go ahead and save that. And then you have it. Mine is this one right here. Okay, so now that we've got the active trader ladder set up, we're going to talk about the other studies that I use, and they will be found up here under studies. The easiest way to do it, there's like 10 dozen ways to do this. Edit studies, and then up here you type in SIMP, simple moving average. This is my preferred moving average template. I'm going to put 2 of them in there, and they will automatically by default be set on 9 ticks for the length. So I want to change them to 180. I'll leave everything else except the color. I like it as blue, and then I'll choose blue there and say OK. And then this one here, instead of being 9, I'm going to change that one to 50 simple moving average, and I always set that one on gold just for consistency's sake, so I can remember what's what. All right, now that I've got that, I'm going to also put in my RSI indicator, which is called relative strength indicator, and I will not talk in detail on this video about how to read this and how it's used, but just take my word for it, you would like this one on your chart if you're going to be scalping like me. All right, and then the next one you want on here is the MACD, which stands for Moving Average Convergence Divergence, and it is a very popular indicator for trading, and I find it pretty useful. And again, you want to leave the default settings on these guys, so you don't have to change that. Alrighty, so now that we've got all those in there, we want to say, okay, this is your RSI, this one's your MACD. And I like to shrink them down just a little bit more. I don't like my screen too crowded up here. All right, now that you've got your studies set up here, and oh yeah, you got your moving averages here. So the gold one here is the 50. You can see that up here. And you've got your blue one, which is the 180. All right, so now we want to save that as a study set. So you click on that, and I've already got it saved, so I'm not going to go through that process again, but you type in your study set name and save it. And the reason we do that is because the next step that I use to decide when to get in and out of trades is by pulling the sidebar out. And that will allow me to look at different time frames at the exact same time. So the main chart, I like to have it set up on 2 days, 1,000 ticks. Now, a tick is different than a time frame, and a tick is simply each candle will form at a certain amount of ticks that are bought and sold. Zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see that. So candle formation hopefully is something you're somewhat familiar with if you are getting this far along in your trading. But basically, a candle, if it's red, it started up higher and ended lower, so it's going down. The top and the bottom of the wide part is the beginning, where the price started, and it ranged in that whole candle width, both wicks. They call them wicks, top and bottom there. And then it ended at the wide part on the bottom. And it's exactly the opposite for the green one. If it's green, it started down low, ranged, and then ended up high. So that's basically how a candle formation works. Time frames that we would like to see are on the main chart the 2-day 1,000 tick, and that moves very, very quickly, and these candles are formed multiple times a minute. The other time frames that I use, if you set up a quick chart over here, we want to do the plus sign at the bottom and choose quick chart here, and that will bring up a chart like this. And then we want to link that to the main chart. So we want to make sure that this link is set on any number of these colored ones. I've just chosen blue, number 3, and I set this one on the same. So when I do that, that automatically sets the exact same thing that I'm trading over here is what I'm seeing over here, which is just a nice thing you don't have to think about anymore. The time frame at the bottom that I have set up is a 4-hour chart, 180 day. It's the largest time frame that I use, and I don't use it a whole lot. I basically look at it once at the beginning of my day to kind of see the general trend, and then the next one I set up above it is the 1-hour chart, which is 20-day 1-hour chart. And if you don't find these on there, you can go to time frame and choose either time or tick, but I do time, intraday, and you can choose whatever you want here, but the default I believe that comes with it is 20-day 1-hour, which works just fine. I will also alternate and do 10-day 30-minute, which I find very useful as well. All right, and then the next one on the top is the 5-day 15-minute chart, which I do believe is the default as well, and that is all the time frames that I use. So I might alternate this one, but this one's 15-minute, this one's 30-minute or 1 hour, and then this one down here is 4 hour, and then the main one is 1,000 tick. So you can kind of see it's in order of the slowest time frame to the smallest time frame, up like that. So just having it organized like that, I can very quickly analyze information and know what I'm looking at, which is very helpful. All right, so now that I've got my time frames all set up, I want to make sure that my studies are added to each of these quick charts. And since you've saved it as a study set already, all you need to do now is load study set, go to whatever you called it, and add it. And it will, if you don't see it, you need to drag this down a little bit further. Actually, right here, this one. If it's just the chart there and it's not showing up your studies, then you haven't got enough room. So you need to drag it down until your studies appear, like that. Fine point there. All right, and then if you want to move this whole thing, you can either use these down or up buttons here to scroll up and down, or you can grab this dark bar right here in the middle and drag it up and down, which I find a lot quicker to do. Whatever. Alrighty, so the last little bit of information here that I need to add to my screen is the live news feed. And I don't like it to take up a great deal of my space on the bottom, so you can drag it to make it the smallest, so it's not taking up all your screen. This is all that I need. It's not super helpful. I don't look at it a great deal, but it has alerted me to things that I may have missed sometimes. And we'll talk more about what news is important and what's not in my next video. But anyway, that's how you get your chart basically set up to trade like you see on all my videos.